If you could return, don't let it burn.
Good morning, guys. It's the Good Morning Podcast with me, Arnur, and today's the second episode. As I promised, the episode will be in English, just as other episodes in the future, because the first episode was in Russian, and my homies from foreign countries couldn't understand what I said, and that's pretty fair, because that was the experimental episode. I want to know how does it even feel to start a podcast and stuff. And so, yeah, today is a very tricky topic, I'd say very relevant. It's the topic of mental health. I would say mental fitness is a better word because, I mean, yeah, we'll get into that later, but I think mental fitness is the right word. And we'll just discuss what's happening with teenagers nowadays in terms of mental fitness and mental health. Yeah, why is it happening? In my opinion, because I'm a teenager myself, I'm only 18. Yeah, and how can we solve whatever is happening to our friends, to our kids, and all of that, to our siblings? Yeah, because nowadays it's kind of crazy how deteriorating mental health of teenagers is actually, per my opinion. Yeah, because there's a lot of things going on. Of course, school, friends, cyberbullying, TikTok. I don't know, any and all of that actually has an impact on how we feel. I mean, we teenagers feel. Yeah, this episode will be addressed to anyone, literally from teenagers to old people, because, well, everyone wants to know what's happening with their close and loved ones. In this case, the teenagers, right? And so, yeah, this is a very interesting topic to me because I always wanted to know like what's happening with people nowadays and how can we like as a community solve it. I mean, as humanity itself, yeah, because well, it's just a great thing to do, I'd say, because the mental health crisis is, well, very relevant nowadays, just as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah. But today it's more sharp, I'd say. It's more expressed in the world itself. And so, yeah, I think what's happening nowadays is that teenagers are basically like uncontrolled, I'd say unsupervised. Yeah. And that is why we feel bad, we feel sad and stuff, we feel unworthy, unnoticed. Yeah. And that's why people tend to close in on themselves. Yes. Stop talking to people, isolating themselves. Yeah. And it's very bad. I'd say I did that. I remember like back when I was a kid, back when I was, I guess, 16 or something. Yeah, and that's a very unhealthy thing to do. Um, and I strictly advise against it. If your close ones or friends are closing in on themselves, if they are isolating themselves, you should talk to them. Most definitely, yeah, you should support them. Just maybe a small talk would suffice because you can't help a person um, to a complete extent. It's they have to do the work themselves, of course, because it's their mind, their soul, and stuff. Yeah, but just don't sit idle. Do something because it's worth the effort. Yeah. Uh, and I'd say the lifestyle of teenagers nowadays plays a huge role in this because 20 or 10 years ago, even, there was more like there were more real life activities involved, I'd say, because nowadays it's only what? It's only video games and stuff, TikTok, I don't know, YouTube videos. It's all so digital and people kind of lose the touch with reality. I mean, teenagers, yeah. Because me, myself, when back in Corona times in 2020, I was playing a lot of games. Um, CS, if you know, well, it doesn't really matter. I played a lot of games, yeah, and it actually made me kind of disconnected with reality. I'd say honestly, because um, you just play games, and games are by definition not reality. Well, because it's a fictional world, kind of. You're just sitting there playing with your hands and stuff, like the mouse, the keyboard. You're looking at the monitor, not your window, not the view outside your house, but just a monitor. Yeah, and that's kind of sad because, well, I think the key to how to actually feel good, feel better overall is to just go on a walk and like go into nature and stuff and not sit at home scrolling TikTok endlessly. Yeah, that's just what I think. And The mental health crisis is not a joke, actually, because it's happening right now, and it's a very subtle thing, I'd say, because if you are doing okay, you might think that there is no crisis whatsoever. But if you're actually struggling, you do feel it. You feel the implications, you feel the reasons why it's happening, and all of that. And so, yeah, that's why we need to actually focus on it. We need to actually be attenuated towards it. Yeah. Uh, all right. So, why is it actually happening is a great question with many, many answers that I cannot really answer to the sufficient extent, I'd say. But, well, I might take a try. I might take a shot at it. I think it's happening because, well, people have grown apart with time, with each other. I mean, well, like some several hundreds of thousand years ago, we were tribal. We were organized in tribes. We were talking to each other constantly, like how to survive, how to kill a mammoth and stuff, how to fight other tribes. And nowadays, you look and everyone's so individualized. It's kind of crazy. Even the family institute is kind of not in a good place today, I'd say, because there's a lot of single people, a lot of I don't know, child-free people and stuff. So yeah, well, the family institute is kind of not in a great place nowadays, I'd say, and that's kind of sad. Not only the Family Institute, though, but like overall, people have grown more individualized, more secluded over time, I'd say, nowadays. And that's one of the problems of nowadays, well, of the modern human um, population. Yeah. Because, well, for example, if someone's struggling, they don't have anyone to reach out to, which is sad because we got 8 billion people on this planet, and still people feel lonely, and that's it boggles me. It always surprised me, like how can we ever feel lonely when there's like 8 billion like versions of us, of the same species as us, which is so crazy. Think about it. Even like there's, well, not exactly, but there's like 50% of male people and 50% of female people and stuff, but that's kind of crazy because, well, how can we ever feel lonely if there's like 8 billion more people? That's kind of crazy. Have you ever thought about it, actually? And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the mental health crisis and like how people feel lonely, how people feel depressed nowadays, and there's nobody to reach out to. Only the therapist, and there's not a lot of good therapists nowadays, as far as I'm concerned. And that's kind of sad as well. But we're not going to talk about the sad things. We're going to talk about how to improve the sad things today. Yeah. So I just think we should be more like unified. We should be together with other people, like in communities, in groups, in families, in like romantic relationships, with friends. Everyone just has to be at the top of their game, I would say, because if damn, if we want to solve the problem, then we have to act together, actually, because, well, you cannot act by yourself. It doesn't work because a single slab of wood is not a house, but multiple slabs of wood and concrete and the roof and stuff is a house, is a complete house. I mean, it's a place you can live in, a great thing. And it's composed of many, many different details and stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about unity. Yeah. So that's why we have to be, I just I think, friendly with each other basically, because there's not a lot of it nowadays. Even, well, as I observed in TikTok and in real life as well, in games I play, in basketball, there's not a lot of friendly behavior nowadays. It's a generalization, I know, which may not be completely true, but just think about it. There's, well, I just think there's not enough kindness in the world nowadays, or what? It's kind of weird how I put it, but, well, maybe that's the truth, and that's why we actually need to bring it back, because, well, it's so easy to grow towards hatred. It's so easy to get affected by it and then become like very hateful, very negative. But it's so hard to actually become like a better person. It's so hard to become kinder and stuff because you have to break your old habits. You have to break your old beliefs and stuff, and whatever you did before. You have to break all of that. Yeah, but let's not get carried away. Yeah. So everyone's concerned about teenagers, but really nobody's doing anything. Well, as far as I noticed. Because even the teenagers themselves, we need to help our peers. We need to help our homies, or even if you don't know a person, you should help them because it's never it's never a regretful action. You know, it's always worth it. Even if it's somebody like outside and like somebody fell and you lend them a helping hand, like this, you bring them up and stuff. So it's not that hard, and it's like a small act, but it's worth it. It's all figurative, of course, because I mean more like not physical, but like mental type of help. Well, just support, yeah. But nonetheless, we still have to do it, and well, both towards men and towards women, of course, because that's how it is nowadays. If you want to actually be happier, you have to help everyone, regardless of their sex, of their gender, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because we're all people, right? That's true. So yeah, it's kind of a tough topic, I know. Well, just to talk about it because there's a lot of going on, like suicide and stuff. But we have to raise awareness. I mean, we have to talk about it because well, otherwise it would just keep growing and the rates will increase and we'll all be in a bad place in like I don't know 2 years, 4 years, maybe a decade. But it doesn't matter. It will get worse. So we need to actually take action right now. I mean, tomorrow, maybe today, even just doing small, mindful, kind actions and all of that, helping people actually matters. It is through constant small effort that we can actually change the state of things nowadays. I mean, the mental health thing. That's just what I think. Because I'm concerned. I'm really concerned. And I've been concerned ever since, I'd say, 2021 when I was a kid. Yeah, because I mean, I noticed many people are very hateful towards themselves. They like body dysmorphia and stuff, depression, I don't know. Automatic negative thoughts is also a thing, apparently. Yeah, and that actually like it made me really concerned back then because I thought, damn, why can't we solve it like as a group of people, as humanity? And I don't have an answer. It's very weird because well, people care. I know that people care, but why do we not like work on it? It's kind of weird because well, we gotta act. And I have a certain like plan or a set of advices. I'd say I'm not no like guru or stuff, but I would just like to share some thoughts. That's basically the point of this podcast. And I'm thankful for you that you are watching this and witnessing how like I'm developing my chain of thought and chain of reason and stuff. Yeah, small shout out to my viewers, to everyone watching. Thank you. All right. So how can we actually solve um, the the thing itself, like the crisis? Um, a crisis is a very complex thing, I know, because it's very hard to solve a crisis actually, because it's a very complex thing and like it's huge. It's composed of many many parts. But well, firstly, I think we just have to be more patient towards each other and to not let out anger and well, I mean, anger is okay, but to not let out wrath and not let it control us. I mean, it's not a sin for nothing. It's like it's very sinful to be angry at people constantly. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to let it out, but not on people. Maybe like I don't know, verbally or stuff, like to scream and stuff. But well, just don't be so hateful with people. Many people nowadays resort to hate. Yeah, well, like almost instantly if something is wrong and they don't even think about how the other person is thinking, especially teenagers. I mean, we're still kids. They're still kids, you know. So it's hard to think about what other people are thinking when your brain hasn't even developed that much yet. And that's a fact because the prefrontal lobe of the brain finishes developing at 25, I think, by 25, when you're 25 years old. Yeah, so that's a long time. That's like 10 years for the most of teenagers. And that's kind of crazy. I know. So yeah, well, we just have to develop the cult of emotional intelligence nowadays, I think, because, well, that's what teenagers lack because they're teenagers, and that's okay. So yeah, we just have to promote it. I'd say I don't want us to be like extremely smart and like extremely emotionally intelligent, but like at least the basics, like of how to talk to people, how to let out your emotions and stuff. That would be enough, I'd say, because um, I don't think we need much to actually solve the crisis or to alleviate its impact. We just need to be considerate with teenagers, with each other as well. Yeah, that's what I think. Because otherwise, well, it will be bad. And to be considerate, we need to be patient, as I said, and we need to be loving with each other. Just think about it. You're surrounded by many great people, even if you don't have any friends. I don't know. Even if you're like even if you feel very lonely, you still have your family. You still have well, even if you don't have your family, you still have yourself, right? You still have like the the teachers you got. I don't know, your boss. Maybe he's a good person. Yeah, and just notice. Just start treating everyone with love. I mean, that's what I strive to do always, because well, flowers grow with love. If you just water them saying curseful things, well, they won't grow. They will grow, but they will just die like in a day or something. So yeah, flowers only blown only oh sorry, only blossom when they're actually watered with love. And that's the main idea of today, I'd say. It's very cliche, but well, you just have to actually like act on it. If you're just saying the words, it is kind of cliche, I'd say, yeah, but we actually have to act on it, and that's what I think about the issue. Because if we do not act on it, then well, it's sad. It's very sad. So yeah, just I don't know, when you finish this episode, or like you can pause this and go hug someone, call your friends, say what you feel. Like maybe you have a crush, confess your love. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, really. Nothing bad happens. The worst they can say is like no or something, and you still get to experience love and stuff, and like the beauty of actually feeling something towards someone. Yeah, that's very simple. Just go, I mean, compliment your favorite barber, your favorite, I don't know, actor. Maybe they'll notice. Yeah, it's very not that hard. And the kindness you express will eventually come back to you. And I think that's the main principle in terms of the like how to stay mentally fit, mentally healthy. Is just be kind. Treat everything with kindness. And if you resort to hatred, then hatred will come back to you. It's very basic. I mean, people have to know this, have to know this, and have to notice, because it's the basic principle of life, pretty much. Yeah. So just be more loving towards each other. I know it's hard. I know sometimes people piss you off, and they piss me off as well, but at least if they piss you off, you have to apologize afterwards. Well, that's also a basic thing, yeah. Uh, so we just gotta be loving with each other. We just gotta be more patient, more compassionate, more empathetic towards each other. And I think that would alleviate the things that are going on today, because there's a lot of bullying, there's a lot of cyberbullying, of course, and like teenagers feeling bad because they are who they are, which is crazy and bad in all of the definitions of the word. Yeah, I think it can be solved, and we just have to act on it. We have to actually participate in solving and not just look from an arbitrary point of view, saying like, "Oh, it's so bad, but I can't do anything." No, you can do. You can do something. We all can do something. Even an impact this small has an impact on the whole picture of things. Of course, it has. Well, if you do something, it always comes back to you. That's the first thing. And the second thing, if you do something really like useful to the society, if you help someone and stuff, it always comes back to you as well. And it's also like positive impact, which is a great thing. And like that's the point of life, to positively influence your surroundings. And by that I mean inspire people, make them fall in love with life and all of that. Uh yeah, I think that will be it for today. Today is a very short episode, I'd say, because Well, it's a very hard topic to grasp, firstly, and secondly, it's like very broad and stuff. But yeah, my main idea is that just we have to be more kind with each other, with our friends, with our peers and stuff. And not only friends and peers, but also kids. If there's by any chance a parent watching this, you have to actually know if your child is a kid that they are gonna encounter all of this in the future. Not all of this, but pretty much the majority of the things I described, like bullying and stuff. And so you have to be prepared. You have to know how to actually treat this and how to actually like confront your kid if something happens. I mean, not confront, but like discuss things with them. Yeah. And if your kid is already a teenager, there's a lot of things you can think about and maybe text me. I don't know. Um, like in terms of mental health, in terms of how to talk to your kid if they're isolating themselves from each other, I mean, from everyone, and yeah, and how it affects their life, which is a very negative way. Yeah. That's it for today. Uh, I need a topic for the next episode, and I'm open. Like the comments are open. You can write it down below. Yeah, if anything, if there is anything you're so interested in, and if we connect on that specific topic, I will probably choose it for the next episode. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, that's it for today. Just stay loving. Go tell your mom you love them. Go tell your friends, your partner that you love them. Be compassionate, be empathetic, and remember that it's everyone's first time on earth, and we're all trying to live a good, meaningful life. That was the Good Morning podcast with me, your host, Arnur, and see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.
tearing me apart, and it's ruined everything.